Ooh.
Buh, 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 buh. Meowing. Bow, wow. Wow, 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 wow. Football is over. And this is the last show forever, except until like a couple months from now. He kept going.
He's still going, yeah. Bop. All right, here we are. Final show, Super Bowl finale.
Yeah.
Yep. It's
Season's
Yep.
over. Ended for me 4 plays in. That's
I'll never
4 days.
forget that.
4 days would have been great.
4 days would have
honestly.
been great, yeah.
Well, you didn't even get 4 days.
Yeah, no, did not get 4 days.
Well, you got like 2 days because it was a Monday night game, right? Or was it Sunday night?
I think maybe
it was a Monday night, I think. I think I
it was
remember.
Monday night, maybe. Yeah.
I remember we were all in the
Also-
Discord and we were just like, yo, I'm going to make snacks and we're going to have a great time watching the Jets be good.
I mean, they won that game too, right?
I think they did.
They did win
Yeah.
that game.
Yeah.
And just sorry for I'm on my phone because my internet's out. Yay!
Yeah. But like we said,
It's
it's
been
not
out
that
for
bad.
like 3 hours.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
fun times.
Yeah, so hey, you know what? Hey, and you had the whole offseason. That was kind of fun with the Jets, right? The hard knocks
Yep.
and everything, you know?
Oh well, I didn't even watch that because
Yeah.
I didn't like the people. But
Yeah.
you know,
It was fun.
There was like a curve with Aaron Rodgers where it was like when he was on Green Bay, it was like this guy's kind of annoying, and then there was a point where I was like, wow, hate this guy. He's really annoying.
Yeah.
And then that kind of tapered off as the offseason happened. And it was like, okay, he's back to just playing football. He's not going on podcasts and everything. And you know, now he's just regular annoying again. And then he tore his Achilles, and then he had nothing to do all year except go
Yep.
on podcasts. And now he's somehow worse than where he was originally.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive,
it's-
honestly.
It's great. It like literally all of the worst possible case scenarios played out exactly in unison for the Jets.
They really
It's been
did.
great. Got the worst parts of Aaron Rodgers, none of the best parts. Didn't even play a single game.
Yep.
Didn't complete a pass, actually. He still
Nope.
hasn't completed a pass for the Jets.
He did complete a preseason pass,
Oh, well, yeah. No, that is
which we
good.
know the
That's-
preseason matters a lot.
Yeah, no, we're big preseason champs here in New York.
Did you see there was an article like a couple weeks ago about the Jets' entire culture and organization being a mess?
No, I didn't see that, but I mean, you
Yeah.
know,
There's
I didn't really need to read an article about that.
yeah. Somebody had it was like a hit piece. They were talking about it on Jets culture dying with Aaron Rodgers, and I was like, dude, I think Jets culture is already fucking dead.
I
long
don't think there's a culture to speak of.
Yeah.
There's no people
Just
that are left.
the culture of losing.
Yeah, it's just it's been years and years of losing forever. And it's fun. Longest playoff streak, or well, tied for the longest playoff drought, excuse me.
Yep.
Not streak. That's other teams that do that. Longest playoff drought in American professional sports. So
Yeah. So, you know,
Fun.
maybe next year they'll try to get Devontae Adams. Maybe Aaron Rodgers will play a game.
Yep.
We'll see.
Yep.
But we had some coaching hires before we get to the Super Bowl. The Seahawks hiring Mike McDonald, who is the defensive coordinator of the Ravens.
Oh.
So
So the Seahawks are hiring him as the head coach?
yes,
You're
Well.
there you go.
and you said he's the Ravens?
Yep,
DC?
Ravens DC.
I mean, yeah,
I mean,
I
yeah,
guess.
he's good, but again,
I'm sure he's
I'm never
good.
a fan of defensive coordinator hires.
Yeah, I don't think that's
As coaches.
I don't think that's a good call these days.
Yeah. Which, speaking of which, the Washington Commanders hired Dan Quinn. Yep, that's right. Dan
I
Quinn.
thought the Steelers hire was bad, but that's a next level of bad right there.
Mm-hmm.
It sure is. I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know why. It's just a classic Washington play. Like even with the new owners, they're still Washington.
Yeah, it's like a Chargers thing. Like they're just cursed, but in like a slightly different way. Like
Yeah.
the Chargers get like good players and then just inexplicably lose for the dumbest reasons in the most ridiculous ways. And the Commanders they don't even get good players. They just also lose and are bad, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like because they're in Washington D.C., they mirror that town, and they always make the bureaucratic decision
Well,
for.
they then made
who to
another
pick.
just unbelievable hire by hiring Cliff Kingsbury as their offensive
Oh.
coordinator.
Okay, that's okay.
Remember like 3 weeks into the season how I was like, companies that are teams willing to stop hiring like nepotism, like this coach did this, like it doesn't work even when they were good, and they're hiring the bad ones
Yeah.
still. Like they're not even
Yeah.
hiring the ones that were good. Like they're hiring all the coaches that were bad.
He
It's
was
insane.
He was very weird too, because he had a losing record in college.
Yeah.
And he was a college coach. He just coached Mahomes, right, for a year, I think.
Yeah.
And then he came into the NFL, and the Cards did pretty decently at first, but then, all went to shit.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because now he's gone from college head coach to NFL head coach to NFL offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
It's an odd trajectory. I feel like that's not common.
He's also the coach for Johnny Manziel. The
right.
old Texas A&M.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was. He's Texas A&M. I think he was with the air raid system, wasn't that like the big downfield
well, that's
passing?
that's still all over college.
Yeah.
That's big. I mean, it's all honestly all over the NFL now. It's
Yeah.
just not as prevalent as in college. Like there are some teams at college that are like 100% shotgun. We're passing on every down.
Well, the thing is, like, it can work, but it hits a point where you have to start like getting creative with it and like strategizing and not just being like, oh, they'll run down the field and get the ball. The Mike McCarthy strategy. So then we also had, speaking of which, Browns hire Ken Dorsey as their offensive coordinator. That's right. The Ken Dorsey that was fired by the Bills earlier this year because he was bad.
Wait, so who hired him?
The Browns.
Oh wow, what a stellar organization.
Yeah, they're like, oh, you know what? This guy got fired halfway through the season by the Bills because he was so bad at calling plays. Let's hire him to call our plays. Like, what are they? It doesn't make. And then the Raiders hired Luke Getsy, the Bears guy that throws screens all day. Like, what is this?
Wait, who hired the Bears guy?
It literally seems like even if you're bad, you'll get rehired somewhere else. Like it doesn't. It's insane.
The Raiders did, Rob.
It's the Raiders. See, the part of it too is like, well, one, it is of course the nepotism and Peter principle kind of stuff, but it's also like we were just talking about with Kingsbury, like NFL franchises usually don't trust success in college to translate into success in the NFL, right? Like, they want to hire out of the coordinator pools and the assistant coaches and all the other stuff, right? So I mean, there's I guess only so many people, and when you have a person who has previously worked with teams and has done it before and stuff, they
I was going to make that same point, actually. Like, despite the fact that they may have proven that their NFL, their career in the NFL is not good, but at least there is a career in the NFL,
right?
And and I think that applies to like any job, really. It's like that's why so many people want experience, because at least they may not be good at it, but they've done it. At least they're not going to be fresh into the experience, which obviously it's likelier that you're going to be able to find somebody better in a larger pool, but I do understand the hesitancy to take any big chances with that.
Yeah. I can get it too. It's just some of these guys feel like they're not even good.
It's a side grade kind of thing.
Yeah. I don't know. But
Is there some other source they could go for though? Like,
Not
I
really.
get that they're like they want to hire someone with experience, but like there has to be some kind of system where someone learns
College.
how football works. Okay,
Yeah.
but like I don't know, like college is such a different system. I wouldn't
Yeah.
want anyone from that system anyway.
well,
Well,
there's
that's the thing, right?
Like,
there's plenty
You
of
could get
other
CFL guys.
there's plenty
mean,
of
that's
like
kinda why-
positional people still.
Yeah,
teams.
and also like I think that's like a lot of the reason why you're seeing people like Gerard Mayo being hired at the Pets. It's like it's either former players or people who have coached before, like people that are already in the system in some way.
Yeah, or even Antonio Pierce taking over the Raiders now, or DeMeco Ryans Texans. Like it is pretty
I'm
common.
Familiarity
surprised
with the people.
there's not a bigger pool of former players who would want to coach.
I
Yeah,
agree.
me too.
There has
Actually,
to be some group out there that's better than just the dudes who were fired anyway because they were bad. Like there has to be another pool to pull from.
I think there's
I mean,
a lot
it's
of players.
work though too.
Well, I
to
think
be a coach.
there's a lot of players that were actually really smart. They just didn't have the physical ability that some other guys have. So I think a lot of those guys end up being like a lot of backup quarterbacks or like third string quarterbacks, like that type of thing.
Like Wes Welker, even though obviously he played well, but like he's not like the most gifted.
Well, Jim Harbaugh, who's going to come out
Yeah.
college, right? Like he was a former.
Yeah, he's with the Bears actually.
Yeah, he was like a journeyman backup QB guy, right? Like,
yeah. So you get the best of both worlds because they know what it's like to be a player. Plus they they know a lot about the game and everything.
Well,
So-
most coaches did play in the NFL. That's actually a thing. Like actually, almost all of the head coaches in the league right now played in the NFL. It was actually kind of a sticking point with Bill Belichick, who never played in the NFL. He played in college, but not at the professional level.
Yeah.
So most of them did.
Speaking of Harbaugh, the Chargers also hired Greg Roman, the offensive coordinator, which it seems. Well, I think they did it because he worked with Jim Harbaugh in San Francisco, so it seems like one of those get the band back together things. Yeah,
I guess.
Yeah.
I struggle with anyone who was fired and labeled a football terrorist, and he was one of the people that were called football terrorists.
Well, I mean, the other thing too is that like coaches do get better over time, even if they're it's still a skill and everything. So,
Mustard Joe Barry.
Yeah. I mean, there are some guys that don't.
Yeah, there's plenty that don't.
Everything. Yeah.
Which, by the way, I don't even think we mentioned the Packers hired Jeff Hafley as their defensive coordinator. So he was a Boston College coach, formerly did coach secondaries in the NFL with like San Francisco and something else. But he's, you know what? I'll take it. We're switching to a 4-3, which I think is the way to go because I'm not a big fan of the 3-4 defense anymore. I think a 4-3 is just better. And we're going to play man coverage, which is the complete opposite of the Joe Barry defense, where we played like 90% zone. So thank God.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
No, that is good.
Yeah. It'll be fun to mix it up. And I can't wait in 2 years to hate this guy.
Well, hey, in Jets news, they managed to keep everyone together. All the great coaches are still back on the team.
Rob!
So yeah, so
All
I
right.
was worried about that, but
I was very worried. Yeah.
mhm.
And I don't know if you saw Steelers news, but apparently they are in the market for a quarterback, and they said, according to Adam Schefter, but he says the Steelers want to trade for Justin Fields. That's their guy.
Wow.
Yep.
That's weird because I think Rooney came out earlier today and said we are not going to well, he phrased it very specifically. He said we are not going to make a blockbuster trade for a quarterback.
Right. So they want to trade for him, but
So
they're
they
not
want
going to trade a lot.
pack guy. Yeah, like Justin Fields.
It's so I would not mind Justin Fields. Straight up. I mean, if Kenny Pickett is as bad as people say he is, and I still think there's like a small chance he could be fine, but like, the door's closing fast.
Yeah.
I like Justin Fields is a clear upgrade. And I don't know, like in my eyes, it would at least like give me a little bit of something to root for the like. I think it'd be fun. I'll be honest. Maybe Justin Fields does suck, and he'll come out and he'll suck, but at least it'll be something new. Like I can't remember the last time the Steelers had a fucking mobile quarterback. That's not a thing they've ever had. I feel like I don't know.
Big Ben used
like,
to be back in the day.
Well, Ben wasn't mobile. He was just impossible to tackle.
Yeah,
he was known for being huge and very untackleable. Until he, got old and became a husk.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I just think that Fields has such high potential, and like just rating someone who's been stuck on the Bears for like 4 years, like come on, it's the Bears.
It is.
I don't care what his stats are. I don't care how bad he's. It's the Bears.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I agree. As somebody who has to watch them very frequently.
Man, you know what? I was looking up his stats because I was like, is he that much of a clear upgrade? Because I know he hasn't done so well, but yeah, he definitely is.
I mean, dude, just watch him play. Like,
that's all you have to like.
We're losing you, brother.
Oh no!
Like athletically. Oh no.
Oh, no, you're back.
I'm sure that's a salient point. It just didn't make its way through the airwaves.
It sounded like.
No, yeah, I was just gonna say that he's like the most athletic player I've ever seen. He does shit that makes Lamar look slow. It's crazy.
Yeah. He actually, because the issue with him with the Bears is they never kind of played into his strengths, which was like play action, running around. They did it for like a little bit. They were like, hey, he's starting to like really pick it up. And then they just stopped for whatever reason because they're the Bears.
No, I think the Baltimore, they need to be given credit for like, because you remember when Lamar came in, it was still Joe Flacco's team. And then like within a week, they completely had a totally different style of play as soon as Lamar was starting. And that's like supporting your QB strengths, and the Bears never did that. Yeah.
So I think it would be better for him in Pittsburgh. I think they have a good running game to help, so the play action would be really nice. You do like bootlegs and then quarterback scramble out of the bootleg and like just do a lot with that, but
much more stable organization too.
And a much more stable organization.
It's a low bar, but yeah.
yeah.
So, I mean, aside from that,
but it is Arthur Smith.
It is Arthur Smith. That's true. Yeah. Russell Wilson and Ryan Tannehill are the only other like options, kind of. Yeah. And I don't know about
Russell Wilson would not be a great choice for the Steelers right now.
I don't think so.
They're more like a building team than a gun it for everything right now team.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with them, but I think Justin Fields would be the best fit for the Steelers, honestly. Like, but what would you have to trade for him? So, like, what do you trade for him? I think you trade
probably the first.
I wouldn't trade a first though.
I wouldn't want to trade a first either.
If you trade the first, you have to get something back, like Fields and a like second or third or something, right? Like you have to get another pick back attached to him. But
I would not want to trade a first, but I think if we can get anything other than a first, like even just like a second and some change, like that is an insanely good deal in my eyes.
Yeah, I mean, if you trade a second back, you essentially traded Chase Claypool for Justin Fields.
Yeah,
if you think about it.
I mean, the question would be, do you think that there are other teams in the NFL right now that would beat a second round pick for Fields?
Potentially.
Yeah, potentially.
I mean, like Atlanta needs a fucking quarterback bad.
Yeah, Atlanta might be a player. Could the Raiders maybe be a player too?
They could as well, yeah. It depends on their quarterback situation with the draft. Because if they look at the draft and they're like, okay, some of these second or third round guys might be pretty solid, but if they do the analysis and they're like, I don't trust them, then maybe they do it. So I mean, this does seem like a pretty deep quarterback draft, but you never know.
I mean, they always say that, and then we'll see. You can only see years later.
Yeah. All I know is there are a lot of quarterbacks because there's the top 3 picks are all mocked to be quarterbacks. Then you have like a mid-round quarterback. I see there's like a couple second-round quarter. Like there's a lot of quarterbacks from the looks of it.
Seattle might even be in play for Fields or one of those quarterbacks.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting. Okay. Oh wait, here we go. We have Caleb Williams, Drake May, Jaden Daniels. That's like top 3 right off the bat. Then you have JJ McCarthy, the Michigan guy. Then you have Bo Nix, who was the Oregon guy who threw 45 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. It's pretty good.
Wow.
And then
that's pretty solid.
Michael Penix Jr., who was the Washington guy playing in the championship game, who was really good. 4,900 yards, 36 TDs, 11 ints, but still, that's pretty good.
Yep.
So those are that's already 6 quarterbacks that'll go in the first 2 rounds potentially. So that's quite a bit.
Actually quite a lot. Yeah, no, that would be a very QB heavy draft.
Yeah. So
I think the Steelers are the kind of organization that won't care if they don't get Fields. Like they probably want Fields, but they're not going to be like we gotta get him.
Yeah.
I think they'll be like, oh, if you're not going to pay our price, then fuck you. Then we're out of here.
Yeah. Plus,
because yeah, go on.
You already know the Bears are going to take Caleb Williams, and if they take Caleb Williams, Fields is going to be available next year anyway for free because he'll be a free agent. So it's like just wait a year.
Yeah. Well, because that was the thing that I was going to say is that I would expect from Justin Fields' end that he's going to expect whichever team he gets traded to that he's going to get some kind of a contract.
Right.
Yeah. So you're probably going to be trading like a pick or maybe multiple picks and also cap room.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're going to probably give him a new contract as soon as the trade goes through.
Yeah. Which I guess could also be a thing where they want to see him play out the final year of his contract before they give him a new contract to make sure they are, spending.
But
wisely.
well, I mean, that's the thing though. Like from his perspective, he's fully guaranteed. He doesn't have to play. Like if they want to like play that game, then they can, and then he can then go on free agency. And because like if you're already spending a draft pick, you're trying to have a good relationship with him,
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So this is always my favorite time. I love free agency and the draft and all the crazy offseason stuff. So it'll be fun in a month or two.
Jets Super Bowl.
Yeah, Jets Super Bowl. It's gonna be great.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, speaking of which, we had the Super Bowl. We should probably talk about it.
Yeah. Well, actually, we could talk about the news of the Super Bowl before the Super Bowl, like the Travis Kelce thing.
Him just being a dick.
Oh yeah, that him yelling at Andy
Elder
Reid.
abuse on the sideline. That was fun.
Yeah.
There's like, he's just a little upset he wasn't getting the ball, and instead of like going over to his coach and being like, "Hey, can I get the ball?" He was like,
He didn't go blah.
He did make a statement about it, right? Like he was like
They're heavily downplaying it. Even Andy Reid has gone on record and been like, it's not a big deal. And like I'm sure they actually feel that way, but we saw it. Like we fucking everyone saw what you did.
It was on cameras for this is actually the highest viewed Super Bowl too. That's another piece.
People really are like, well, they both apologize, so everything's fine. It's like, well, that's not really how this works. Like when you act like a baby, if the person forgives you, other people aren't going to suddenly go, oh, well, that guy's not a baby anymore. No, we still think you're a baby. I mean, I think they're like, it's honestly hopeless for my opinion of Mahomes and Kelce after the whole "you ruined our legacy by throwing that penalty" debacle. After that,
bitches,
they are so far up their own ass. And I mean, look, you win 3 Super Bowls, you're allowed to be a little up your own ass. That's kind of okay. But I'm still gonna point it out. I'm gonna identify.
I'm still gonna hate you for it.
Yeah.
Like you can still win the Super Bowls and be like classy about it. You can't just be like, nobody believed in us. Fucking.
He's now done that twice in a row. Now it's like,
I mean, dude.
At least this time it was a little bit like you guys did.
Somehow it's more valid this year. But even still, it's like you're the Chiefs.
I'm also just gonna say Tom Brady and Gronk were doing this shit for fucking 20 years.
Yeah.
Where they coming in saying I thought we were the underdogs. They're coming in with a chip on their shoulders. Like, for
Yeah.
what fucking reason
Yeah.
could you possibly have at this point?
They only made the AFC Championship game 9 straight seasons, Rob. Well, how can anyone possibly peg them as Super Bowl favorites?
You individually have as many rings as any other franchise in the NFL. Shut up. But yeah, I mean, and now Pat Mahomes, he's at 3, which is half. That's half of the most. So
He already
he's a fucking he's a Hall of Fame all-time great quarterback. He's still a big old bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like how I always like Aaron Rodgers, but he's crazy and insane.
Yeah.
So, you can still like somebody and how they play football and everything and be like, I don't
And
like the person.
Roethlisberger was a great quarterback, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
There's plenty of athletes that I really don't like as a person, but they play football well.
Yeah. Yep.
Now Jordan Love, that's not the case. I love both aspects of Jordan Love.
Well, he's got time.
He
Wait
does
till
have
he
time.
starts making more millions and lives only around rich people, and
That's
then he'll
true.
start selling concussion
Hunting,
water.
Yeah,
And
after he
humans
gets
for
his
sport.
Super Bowl.
I will say Love's got to be a little bit better. I don't know if you guys saw the whole fan of the year thing.
what is it?
Fan of the year?
Well, Tom Grossi, he's like a YouTuber, a Packers YouTuber.
Yeah, I've seen him.
He won fan of the year, and they had Jordan Love give him a little like thank you, and it looked like he was doing it at gunpoint. He was like, "Wow, really? Thank you for being a fan of the Packers, and thank you." It was real bad.
Oh, man.
Dude, that's like,
That's
I
good.
swear to God, every time they talk about the fan, they're just like, we couldn't have done it without the fan. We got the best fans in the world. I'm just like, shut up. Okay?
Shut the fuck up. Yeah.
You literally,
We know how this
patronize
works. You
us.
just want my money.
they literally
Yeah.
did it without the fans during COVID years. They didn't have fans in the stands. You don't need the fans.
We've proven the fans are completely unnecessary for this product. We can do it without you.
Yeah, look at the Chargers. They don't have any fans.
Yeah,
you go.
just
That's
make
good.
the NFL subsidized by the taxpayer. That's
Yeah.
all you got to do. You're already doing it with the stadiums, right?
Yeah. So yeah, the Super Bowl was it was actually a pretty decent Super Bowl in terms of like being entertaining.
But only at the end, really.
Only at the end, really. Yeah, the final quarter was it. The first half was kind of boring. Even the third quarter was like, it was okay. You know what? I'll give it to the refs. It was actually a pretty fairly reffed game.
Yeah.
There's like one or two
trying
calls,
to remember
but
what were the
one was the
like,
holding they called, which
right.
that one was like, I don't know. Man. I don't know.
At least
I feel like I know
at
where
least
Apollo's going to go with this now.
honestly the calls were overall against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Like, straight up.
Yeah,
There was,
they were. Yeah.
there was two really
Generally.
bad spots that during the
Yeah.
game that pissed me off. That
Yeah.
I was like, that's not where the ball goes. Like it's clear that he had the
Oh,
first
yeah, there was
down.
that
Why
one
are
really
you
bad
not
spot.
reviewing this?
And there
Mhm.
was also, I think it was the use check catch where
Catch,
he
Yeah,
it
landed
was
out of
not a
bounds and the
catch.
ball very
Yeah.
clearly bounced out of his hands.
Yeah.
He lost
They
control.
just didn't
Should
look
not
at
have
it.
been a catch. They didn't even review it.
No,
Yeah,
they
that was
didn't
fucking
review it.
weird, man.
Like I get like I would prefer as many things to count as a catch as possible. But
Mhm.
like that was like on the border. Like that was either like a catch or not a catch by like 1 pixel
Yeah.
of movement. And so I'm
Well-
just really surprised they didn't look at it is all.
Mhm.
I mean, from my recollection, the ball completely comes out when he.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah,
It
so
like
the-
totally,
the-
and you can, and that's the thing, right? Is that on the regular catches, that is you need to keep possession through ground.
So
ground
I think
contact,
the way
right?
it works now is that if you catch the ball and you establish possession,
Mhm.
even if you're going to the ground, it doesn't matter. You can let it bounce out. It's all fine. Like once you
Okay.
have the ball, you have the ball. But I don't know, like you have to have 2 feet and either take a third step or make a football
Right.
move. I
Football
don't think he
move,
made a
right.
football move.
I don't think he did either.
I know he was reaching out with the ball, but he was only reaching out with the ball because like that's kind of where the pass was thrown. Like I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
think that it was clear whether or not it was a catch. I'm just surprised they didn't review it as all because it was
Yeah.
very close.
It was,
Yeah, but there was-
It's like the what's it called? Des Bryant, Calvin Johnson catches where they got it and then
Oh yeah.
they
Or the
changed
Jesse
the
James
Oh,
catch
yeah.
where he definitely should have been ruled a catch, and they
Yeah.
changed the rule because of it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
in the grand scheme of things, it should have been looked at is the main thing.
Yeah. But the reffing overall wasn't too egregious in the game.
Yeah.
You know.
Compared to this entire year, this may have been the best ref
Right.
game.
Yeah.
Like my God.
Genuinely, there was a lot of penalties, but they were penalties.
Yeah.
They were just actual penalties.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I will say I watched this entire game on Nickelodeon, and man, was that the right choice.
I can't believe this is not something we've had before now. Like,
It is,
yes.
It was like I lasted about a quarter in the regular game and then went and found and then went on and watched the Nickelodeon one. And
stated with zero irony whatsoever, the Nickelodeon broadcast is the best football broadcast I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, without a
it actually
doubt.
probably
It was fantastic.
Yeah.
It was just like you had you had SpongeBob and Patrick basically just roasting everyone. for the whole
100%.
time.
Sandy on the sideline was giving them shit. Like
Yeah.
they had Dora the Explorer saying shit like they're gonna need a map to find the end zone. Like it was great.
Yeah, they're
Larry
like
the Lobster out on the field as a CGI version of himself, like playing the game
He's
with
just like
the other
walking
players.
around.
There was whatchamacallit, Dora the Explorer also explained all the penalties and
Yeah.
stuff. And she was like she made a little song. She was like I forget what it was, but it's like now you can do it back 5 yards.
Yeah, it's like false start, back 5,
Yeah,
and then
right.
Boots would pop up, and he's like, back
Yeah.
5 yards.
Yeah.
They had a flying 80-foot plankton robot hovering over the
Yep.
players in some
Yeah.
shots. They would coat the end zone in slime when the players would score a touchdown. They had all these like preset shots where they had like
Fake
CGI
audience.
slime pouring down the audience, and people like, "Oh, I got slime! No, no!" And then like shoot fucking pizza slices out in the crowd. Like, it was so great.
They
They
had
had
the
so
most
wholesome and
enormous
fun.
Pizza slices too.
Yeah,
That
the
was
Yeah,
pizza
it looked so
cannon.
good, man. It was like cartoonish.
They had the firmly grasp it when they fumbled. He's
Yeah,
like, firmly
yeah.
grasp it.
Funny.
It was-
This is for me. This broadcast, like, sure, that
Yeah.
was to
Yeah.
get kids converted into the NFL. No, that broadcast was for adults like me
Oh yeah.
who
Yeah.
fucking grew up with this show and love it so much. And they referred to all of the episodes from our era. There wasn't
Yeah.
any new memes up in here,
Oh,
man. This
yeah,
is all
no.
05 shit.
And
Yeah.
you know, the thing that was funny about it too is that due to the nature of their roasting, they were jokes that would sail over the target demo's head.
100%. Yeah.
But for the parents that are watching
Yeah.
along,
They
There's
they
a bit where they fucking like they were explaining how the quarters work. Like there's 4 quarters in the game, and Patrick's like, "Oh, it's not like in the arcade; it's conceptual."
Oh, and they were talking about time stopping, and he's like, I wish I could have time stop and
Yeah.
just freeze time. And then they're just like, wow, yeah. It was so good. They meant, oh my God, the one joke was the walrus, Larry the Lobster was just like, yeah, I could wrestle a walrus down there. And then Patrick's like, it's like Andy Reid. Like it was just there. You can tell they were just having fun, just improv.
Yeah,
that
they
shit.
were having a good time with it. I loved it.
Yeah, because they were like the actual voice actors were wearing like VTuber gear, and they were just
Yeah.
that's how they were doing
it
it.
was-
Wild.
Yeah, they had VTuber, SpongeBob, and Patrick too. Yeah,
Yeah, it was
I-
it's phenomenal.
I want to say that that's just so it's genuinely impressive to just be a voice actor, but then also be able to come in and improvise as the
Bro,
character
yeah.
For like
Two-
3.5 to 4 hours. Not to
Dude,
mention
the
they
whole
had
thing was
OT.
6 hours. It was 6
Yeah, like
hours.
they had
Yeah.
overtime that they obviously hadn't scripted for, so they were just fucking flying off the cuff, and they were killing it. It was so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, they
That is some of the hardest shit you can do in show business. Is
Yeah.
it
improvisation.
really.
Yeah.
They had my favorite. They kept like cheering for the punting team. So then
Yeah, that
Patrick's
was
just
so
like,
great.
yeah, Mitch Wishnowski.
Hearing Patrick Star
which-
say NFL player names alone, dude, is just so good.
hold on. Now that you mention it, by the way, like I know Mahomes won the MVP, and Mahomes had a good game, like a decent game. The punting team and kicking team like should have like co-op won MVP.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
big
Butker
Yeah.
and the punter, Wisnowski. I don't know if that's
Yeah.
the Kansas City punter. The both of them should be MVP because
Townsend.
holy shit,
Yeah.
Townsend. Because they kind of were like the most valuable players that game. Like,
Yeah.
And the Chiefs D, honestly, the Chiefs defense, like
yeah.
actually
Well,
throughout the playoffs too.
if
in
we're gonna
general.
start talking about the game, like I don't like the Niners play calling was so fucking bad. Like they were like,
Yeah,
well,
started getting pretty
CMC is getting 10 yards a carry, so let's stop that
Yeah.
now.
Yep.
And let's
Yeah.
just not do that anymore, guys.
I literally
And
said that at
we fucking
halftime
did.
too. I was like, they're definitely gonna, because they're down 3, they're gonna forget that they can run the ball, and they did.
Yep.
But they did go back to him eventually, because he ended with like 30 carries or something.
Yeah, he did get a lot of
It's
carries.
like
22.
22,
22 carries. So yeah,
Like,
hold on a second.
Oh.
Sorry.
Overall, I want to say that this was a good game, but that's a misleading thing because it was a great ending and a horrible start / first 3
Yeah.
quarters.
It
It was
really
3
was.
quarters of terrible, bad football, and then a quarter and an overtime of good, fun to watch football
Yeah.
with some very questionable defensive scheming by the Niners towards the end.
Which the 49ers also had that special teams thing where it hit the player on the punt,
Yeah.
and then that was just a lucky bounce play too.
But I mean, what are you like? I feel like I'm a fucking broken record, but why it's 2nd and like 14 and you're playing 10 yards off the fucking receivers? I like
Well,
why
that
you're basically
actually,
saying go ahead and take 3rd and 5. We just don't want you to convert 2nd and 14. But that's not how football works. 3rd and 5 is easy. That's an easy conversion that you're going to give to them.
Apparently, Shanahan actually took a timeout at one point and went over and yelled at the DC for that, and they had to change their
Most
defensive
sane person, if
formation.
only he could have run the ball, he would have been smart the whole game. But like, that's why do defenses do this? Why do they do this, guys?
Dude, it's the Joe Barry strategy. I don't know. They just they copy Joe Barry.
That's how they're trained.
Every defense does this. Every single one. It's fucking sane.
Well, and in the final play of the game was literally the same play that the Chiefs won on the year before, which is called corn dog.
The old corn dog.
That's a very Andy Reid name.
Oh, we didn't even mention Dre Greenlaw just blew
Oh,
his Achilles running onto the field. Like what luck is that?
Yeah, no, that stunk. There was another non-contact too, wasn't there? Later on.
Well, Debo went out for a minute. I think that was non-contact. He came back in though.
Yeah,
right.
That's just like you go this entire way, and then it's like Aaron Rodgers tier. You just start running onto the field to play your first snap, and you just tear your fucking Achilles. Plus, guess who got targeted after that? His replacement, which was Oren Burks, who, by the way, 4-year Green Bay Packers stepping in and truly repping the Packers with giving up 11 catches and a touchdown for like 100 yards. So yeah, you might say that injury was pretty impactful.
That does seem pretty impactful, actually.
Look, I'm not trying to take this away from Chiefs fans, but even if I am trying to take it away from you, it doesn't matter. This is your 3rd Super Bowl in the past few years, so you shouldn't care what I think, honestly. But I have to say it because it is kind of driving me insane. But like this Chiefs team genuinely is the worst Chiefs team of the last 5 to 6 years, and it still won the Super Bowl. That's how bad everyone was this year. That's how bad every single team was.
This Chiefs team,
that's what I said.
They lost to the Packers this year.
In
fact, I think we scored the most points on the Chiefs out of anybody.
It's honestly the most frightening thing about the Chiefs is that this is by far the weakest Chiefs team that we've seen. Honestly, since going back to the Alex Smith era, I feel like, you know, like as at least as far as like where the talent is concentrated. And
I mean, it's a 49ers team that we all know is good. And like the Chiefs literally couldn't do anything for 3 quarters. They were fucking anemic on offense. Punt. It was nothing. They had one drive that I think that had a fumble in it, like the Niners drive.
Well, they had
and
in the 3rd quarter, they had there's like the 3 straight drives where it was like 8 passes, and it was.
Oh, that's the Niners. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just mean that like the Chiefs, like I don't know. Tom Brady clearly passed on whatever demon magic he had to Mahomes, and
yeah.
like they're just going to win even when they shouldn't at this point. Like it's ridiculous. Like how many things? Like think about it. The Chiefs won in overtime on a touchdown. How many things went their way that game? Like, you have Greenlaw inexplicably snapping his Achilles for no reason, running onto the field.
Yeah.
You have the CMC fumble at the start of the game.
Yeah.
You have the punt
Fumble thing,
wild hit the dude in the thing, yeah. And then you have Shanahan forgetting that CMC existed for the last 2 quarters. Like it's ridiculous.
You just
It's
reminded me
ridiculous.
that we didn't even talk about that yet either. The like in full anyway. The just the absurd bad luck of the punt hitting the player's calf
Yeah.
and bouncing, and I mean that's just that's just
It's absolutely wild. It is wild, and I don't know. To me, there is clearly some demon magic going on,
yeah.
and the Chiefs
Like
will
I
win the
can't
next
even
7
say that
Super Bowls.
there's a gambling conspiracy. That's God. That's
Yeah, no, it's straight up like it's not. No, there is no NFL conspiracy. It is straight up some eldritch being that Tom Brady summoned originally back in the day.
Yeah.
Maybe he found some like deep dark secret with like the Bills team that lost 4 in a row and was able to
Maybe,
find
yeah.
some cosmic being that was involved in that and turned it to his favor. But it's too powerful, and he couldn't just let it go. He had to pass it on to someone else, lest the world be destroyed by void energy. And now we have Mahomes winning every other Super Bowl.
There's one victory of the season, which is that we got Apollo to believe in football magic. So
Hey, there you go. We
Yeah.
did it.
This runs deeper than football magic. We're on some next level of truly horrific things that
Interdimensional.
I
He
don't
only
want to
believes
witness.
in the most truly confounding forms of magic.
This is
Man-made
something that
horrors
no
behind human
human should be
comprehension.
able to witness. Like if you look directly into this being, it's like that one movie. You instantly kill yourself. Like you just
Yeah.
can't handle what the thing in front of you.
You
Yep.
Tucker Carlson it up.
Yeah.
Dude,
Hey, there's good news though, guys. I have some good
All
news.
right.
This is the second time I think in history, or at least in a long time. It's the second time since 2005 or 2004, I think, since a team won 2 Super Bowls in a row.
Yeah, second
And
time in
guess
history.
who?
Yeah.
And guess who won the Super Bowl after that? The Pittsburgh Steelers, Super Bowl 40, baby.
Justin Fields time,
It's
baby.
gonna happen.
You know what? If that happens, then we are back in 2009, and what's going to happen is Aaron Rodgers is going to leave. We're going to draft a QB, and he's not going to be that good, but we're still going to make back-to-back AFC Championship games. So,
It's not all bad. It's not all bad.
Yeah, and
I'm
then the
game for
Packers
that.
win next year after this year. It's great.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun.
I mean, we should like, because look, I at least I've been saying all year, and I've and people have been saying for a long time that like Tom Brady is an anomaly. Is it not? It doesn't look like he's going to be an anomaly immediately, right? Like, it seems like Pat Mahomes and Andy Reid are potentially going to get a lot more now, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to say it out loud like you are, but
well, I'm hoping that jinxes it.
I don't know, because I mean, I do think the NFL is going to get better. I think this season, like you see the Texans, the Packers, like there's some young teams on the rise.
Talent building up, yeah, big time.
I think that's fair, but at the same time, we've been saying that for 20 years.
But this time it's different.
I will say this was a very like weird Chiefs team because they had better, like the defense is kind of the thing that really won them a lot this year. Like, and then you still have a lot of good, like the Dolphins are still good. I think if the Dolphins don't play in negative 800 degrees, it's probably a better game. Plus half their defense was injured, right? Like you have to take into account injuries as well.
Half of their former selves, you're right?
Yeah. I do also think that the Dolphins are cursed by this same Eldritch demon, though, because they
that's a safe assumption. Yeah,
they did have one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time, and they never won anything. So
Yeah, but I mean, also remember Joe Burrow comes back. If Joe Burrow's playing this whole year, the Chiefs probably play the Bengals in the playoffs at some point. Which I think the Bengals are one of the teams that can actually give them a run for their money.
yeah, potentially.
You kind of forget about the Bengals.
Yeah, I mean, I the thing is, I don't have as much confidence in what's his name, Zach Taylor, as I do in Andy Reid.
Well,
Yes,
yeah,
I mean, yeah,
but I mean,
that makes sense.
it's still, and then you got the what do you call them? The Chargers with Harbaugh now. Like that'll be
interesting. Yeah,
You really think the Chargers are going to break that curse?
Listen, you're talking to the guy who picked the Chargers like 10 times this year.
Well,
So,
this is the Harbaugh. He's never won any rings, right? Like
he's in the Super Bowl.
He got
went to the
there, but
Super
he didn't
Bowl.
win.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So like,
In fact, no one won the Super Bowl that year. It was very sad.
Yeah, it sucked.
But I mean, so I think the Chargers are gonna probably end up being perennial playoff teams at least.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
You guys were talking about me not believing in football magic. Now.
That's a good point. It is Dean Spanos.
You really think the Chargers are gonna?
Yeah, no, that's a good point actually.
They gotta start going in the right direction now, right? It's gotta start happening.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Jim Harbaugh thinks so.
Yeah. So listen, every year you never know what's gonna happen. You got injuries, you got free agency, draft, new players, new teams. Like you never know. Like last year, I think we probably assumed like, Eagles are probably gonna make it back to the Super Bowl, right? And then
Yeah.
They
we
collapsed.
were right for like 10 weeks.
Yeah, I was
We
gonna say
were right
earlier
for
this
like
year
that.
we would have said that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you never know. You never know what's gonna happen. Even the Lions making it as far as they did, or even the Buccaneers. Like I don't think anybody saw the Buccaneers making it as far as they do. In fact, I think I had the
absolutely
Buccaneers
not.
in like third or fourth place.
Yeah, I think I had them in fourth.
Yeah. So it's you never know. You never know what's gonna happen.
You never know.
Yeah.
So that was the Super Bowl. We also had playoff pick'em stats.
Wait, hold on.
What?
About the power ranking?
He said power ranking.
Power ranking.
Power
Good.
rankings. Let's see if the NFL.com
No.
actually
Crendor.
Power
ranking.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Need to get
power
that right.
ranking.
The top
Thank you.
teams in the
The
NFL.
top one team. Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go. The top. Well, you never know. These are the power ranking.
It's the Cowboys.
It is the Cowboy. In fact, they did get updated just today. Guys,
look at that.
this may blow your mind.
Okay.
It's the Chiefs.
Wow.
Wow, I can't
Crazy.
believe it.
Yep. And
I can't
then
believe it.
this is going to blow your mind too. The 49ers are the second ranked team.
Oh, come on.
Get out of town.
Yeah.
Ed,
No.
what's wrong with you?
It's unbelievable. And then number 3, 4, and 5. These are actually a little wonky.
Little
wacky.
wacky?
Yeah.
Mhm.
The Packers.
Nope.
What? But they.
I don't know.
Okay, the
I don't know.
Lions.
The Lions.
Lions are there. Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
The Bills.
I
Yeah.
think it's the Chiefs.
Bills are number 5. Rob, we already got the Chiefs.
Okay, the Niners.
We got them too.
Shit!
Good guesses, though.
I always mess up.
You're doing good.
This
You're doing your
one's
best.
not that difficult.
Is it really the Ravens?
It's the Ravens.
I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's just the teams. Okay. And-
But
Yeah, right, yeah.
the 6 through 10, I don't know if Ed's like, I don't know what Ed's doing. All right. Give me 6 through 10. Just say some teams.
Packers.
Eagles.
Packers are number 9.
Bengals.
Nope.
Chargers.
Nope.
No, it's gotta be
I heard an
playoff
Eagles
teams,
there.
guys.
Eagles are number 10.
Okay.
Oh,
He said
why?
say teams. He didn't give specificities.
Well, right, but
Yeah.
you're skipping over the rest of the playoff teams.
Yep.
Do we get genus
No.
or species?
The one is an obvious NFL power ranking.
Oh, the Cowboys.
The Cowboys are number
Yeah,
6,
right.
even though they got absolutely blasted.
Oh my
They
God,
lost
we were
in the
joking,
wild
but it's
card round.
true.
You would think the Packers would be number 6 since, they crushed the Cowboys and competed with the 49ers and almost beat them, but I guess not.
Yeah.
I guess that doesn't count because the Cowboys are just,
Interesting
they're
take.
ready. They're ready for next year, guys.
Oh yeah.
They're ready
This
for
is
next year,
fucking
guys.
Yeah, they brought
hilarious,
McCarthy back.
actually.
They're good to go. The Texans are number 7,
Oh yeah.
Okay.
and the Browns are somehow number 8.
That's
I don't know, but
That's
look. I know the Steelers
Ed-
aren't good. We didn't lose as bad as they lost.
yeah.
maybe Ed's thinking like, who's gonna be clicking these pages?
Who's gonna be reading
Yeah.
this? Actually, let's hold on.
There's-
It's the Panthers are number 1.
Right, yeah,
Yeah.
like he's probably got exclusively football podcasts looking at NFL power rankings right
Yep.
now.
And now it's time for Pick'em Stats. Pick'em Stats. So we had some locks here. I got my lock of Patrick talking about Taylor Swift.
Nice.
I got my
Apollo-
lock.
Yeah, Apollo got his Usher lock.
What was your Usher lock?
It was Usher.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
he
Alright.
just locked
Mhm.
Usher. Yeah, and that was a good lock. It was a success.
And then
successful lock.
Randy got his Chiefs lock. Look at that. The only
I
one
can't
who locked the
believe-
Chiefs.
After I really thought this one would work, man. I can't believe the conceptual idea of the expansion 1985 Miami Heat roster didn't win the Super Bowl this year.
It is pretty shocking.
Dude, I actually pretty pissed that Travis Kelce didn't propose with the Super Bowl ring replica
Yeah,
that he made.
That
before
is. We
it
did
was
get
made officially.
SpongeBob mention a proposal.
Bro, yeah. And
Yeah.
she did come down during the ceremony onto
Yep.
the field.
Yeah,
And
And
they
we
had an
did get like
extended
a
sequence.
20-second long take of her and Kelsey walking.
Yep.
Right? Yeah, I remember that.
Oh, and them kissing and hugging, and there was
Mm-hmm.
that was for a while.
Yep.
Actually, I should mention the Nickelodeon broadcast. I had both up. The Nickelodeon broadcast had more Taylor Swift than
Yeah, no,
They
God, it
did.
was weird. They had like a heart cam for her in the corner so often
Yeah.
during this.
Yeah.
Like it was.
And then they're just
Way
like,
more.
Taylor, it's Taylor.
Yeah, they would have like in the Chiefs red zones, they would put like a reaction cam, like a live reaction cam of Taylor Swift, just
Yeah.
Taylor Swift in a little box. Like
Yeah.
she's a streamer.
And then Doodle Bob drew Taylor's name. He was like, "Hi, Taylor."
Oh, dude, we didn't even talk about the fake celebrity names either.
Oh yeah, they had
Oh,
the
man.
fake fish celebrities.
Yeah,
Finn Diesel.
yeah.
I love that's the only one we can.
Yeah,
They had Doja Catfish.
yeah.
that was a
Yeah.
catfish. Yeah, there you go.
Megan the Sturgeon.
Yeah, Megan the Sturgeon was good.
That was good.
Honestly,
That was
just
solid.
a lot more creativity in the Nickelodeon broadcast than the,
Yeah,
the
that was
other
a good
one.
time.
Mhm. And we didn't talk about the Usher halftime either. I actually thought that was a really good halftime show.
I loved it.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
pretty good.
I thought it was good.
I
I
like
thought
the
it was-
roller skating.
I didn't think it was amazing, but I thought it was good.
It wasn't the most. I
I
mean,
was enamored with the camera work, and I'm not normally like a cinematographer or anything, but I was genuinely impressed.
and the dance work, honestly.
Yeah, dancing
like,
was good.
And,
Dude,
and
Usher's
like,
always got the moves.
Usher was
Well, I
sweating,
mean,
man.
yeah,
He was
it
working
was
out
very
there, dude.
sweaty.
It was so impressive. Like he was doing like a full ass routine while
dog.
singing.
Yeah,
Like
That's
it wasn't
hard as hell.
lip-synced.
that was
It's
impressive.
really fucking hard.
Yeah.
Like it's. I mean, yeah, it was very impressive. But it's funny. I did go back and watch. You guys ever see the Prince halftime show?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I
dude.
remember
yeah.
that.
I mean,
The-
it's
the-
fucking Prince. Come on.
I mean,
If
it
we're
not
trying to
only is it
compare
Prince,
quality.
it's not just Prince, but he ends the set on Purple Rain, and when it hits the crescendo,
It
and he
starts
gets
fucking
it starts pouring raining.
like an act of God, dude.
Yeah,
Like, yeah,
it's
no,
the
that's
part where he's doing call and response with the stadium, where
Yeah.
where the part in Purple Rain where he's like,
Mhm.
and then so like the stadium's doing that back and forth, and then just a torrential downpour, and it's
it
just,
was
you can't
something
beat
else,
that.
man. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, there's no beating that Prince show.
yeah, that's
Well, we got the bonus stats here. We got good as gold. Crendor and Randy tie for this year's playoff pick'ems title at 11-6. They become the first two-time champions of playoff pick'ems. Apollo and
Damn it.
Discord are the only ones who have never won a playoff crown.
ha.
Damn, dude. He's like the Ravens. Can only win in the regular season. Well, actually, I guess it's more like the 49ers at this point.
Yeah.
Collective confusion. The Discord has yet to predict the Super Bowl correctly. 0-4, 0-8 with locks.
That's crazy.
Wow, that is
Is pretty impressive. 31-1 or 31-9 in the wild card and divisional rounds, but 2-10 in the conference finals and Super Bowl.
Holy fuck.
Interesting. I wonder, that's a very interesting thing because the Discord is usually like,
A favorite.
Yeah,
it's by vote, and it's often right because it's by collective. But like, does everyone in the conference championship and the Super Bowl just go with what they want to see happen more than what they think will happen?
Plus, it's a lot harder to predict, I think, because a lot of times it is pretty 50-50 kind of.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. But by nature,
it's crazy that they're like they have the opposite success rate. They're like an 80% win rate in the wild card and divisional, but like 17% the other games.
Barrow-headed.
This is incredible.
The Chiefs are simultaneously Bears most picked against, most locked, and most locked against playoff team.
Fucking wild.
It's so many. 8 picks against, 4 locks, and 7 locks against. That's wild.
Yeah, the fact that I've locked against them 7 times is pretty clear proof I'm already sick of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that goes back years at this point.
It does.
To get to that many.
Sweet victory. This was This is the first time Apollo has had a successful prediction for a Nickelodeon game. He is 0-3 predicting game outcomes and 1-0 predicting halftime performances.
Never officially picked this game in asterisk.
That is true.
I officially picked this game.
Yeah, that's why there's an asterisk on your Barry Bonds of the playoff predictions here.
And
Look,
one-on-one.
I put my heart and soul into the regular season. When it comes to playoff times, it's just about having fun because it's never fun to watch these fucking playoffs lately.
Wow, Lock and Usher, baby.
Yeah.
One-on-one. Rob has picked the Chiefs in week. It's blocked by the arrow. Which week?
Week 1.
Week 1. 3 times in each of those seasons, they went on to win the Super Bowl.
Rob!
Oh, fuck.
Rob.
It's me?
Every
Your
time.
fault.
Just
It was
remember.
me
Eldritch
that was doing
being.
it? God damn it. All right,
You're
so
Cthulhu.
Do not pick the Chiefs next year, week 1.
Yeah, all right. Well, so I'm going to need all 3 of you and myself to try to remember this 7 months from now or 6
All
months
right,
from
yeah.
now.
Thing I'm gonna scream at you in our very first recording for the 2025 season
Don't
is
do it.
"Don't pick the Chiefs, Rob!"
for the love of all that is holy.
The opening game is going to be Carolina versus Kansas City.
Oh no!
Yeah.
They're gonna go
Usually they're
Reaper?
usually
They're
they're
usually
rival
good
games,
football
aren't
games,
they?
isn't it?
Aren't they divisional
well,
usually
no,
week 1?
I think they're usually just because it was Lions Chiefs this
Oh
year.
yeah,
right?
you're right. Oh god.
I think it's usually just a good game.
Yeah, it's usually a good game. It'll be like Chiefs versus Eagles or some shit. I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. But yeah, just remember that, Rob. Of course, you won't forget.
Yeah. No, totally won't forget.
Yeah.
Forget
No,
what?
not at all.
And that's it. We're done.
Another enormous shout out to Pixel.
The
for
season's
another
over.
Yeah,
fantastic
let's
year
say
stats.
Thank you to Pixel Haven and Hippo Nora
Yes.
for incredible work over the course of the year. And thank you to everybody also.
Yeah,
thank you
thanks
for,
to Corey
Yeah.
for participating in the pick'ems.
yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for,
And
to the
fantasy
Discord.
football.
Yeah, that was really fun. I
That
really
was.
enjoyed that.
Looking forward to next year's fantasy league.
Yeah.
and also this was the first year of Patreon, right?
It was actually, yeah.
Well, I think we started.
We
talking
started
about
in the
last
off
year.
season.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah, but yeah, no, this is our first. So thank you again to all the patrons this year as
Yes,
well.
big time. Thank you.
Yeah, seriously. And are we gonna do a pre-free agency, post-free agency thing? Is that what we do?
Well, yeah, usually we just do a free agency show in general because it starts.
yeah, we did a free agent shit. Yeah.
Yeah, it starts March 11th. They can start negotiating, and then March 13th they can start signing. So probably
Right,
around
okay.
like maybe a day or two after March 13th, because a lot of teams have like signed guys already by then. Plus, that's like exactly 1 month from now, so that seems like a pretty good thing. And then after that, then we do the draft show, and then we have the actual stream draft, and then post draft. So off season, I love me some off season, all hype and fun. Yeah, everybody's got hope in the off season. So yeah, thank you to patrons. Thank you. Here's the patron lists.
Thanks, patrons.
Thank you, patrons. And we'll see you next year, but it's still technically this year. So we'll see you next month. Off season.
We'll see you in a month.
We'll see you in a month.
Firmly grasp it.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.